Good morning everyone. I am R. Swarnalakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, Government College of Engineering, Tanjavur. We are discussing the course PH 8251 Material Science. In today's lecture, we will see about TTT diagrams. TTT stands for Time Temperature Transformation. So preceding the discussion about the TTT diagrams, we need to know about the heat treatment of alloys. And at the end of the lecture, we will also see about the various transformations of eutectoid steel. At the end of this lecture, a student must be able to explain the necessity of TTT diagram, sketch and explain the TTT diagram of eutectoid steel, elaborate on the various heat treatment processes and the resulting microstructures, and describe the various transformations such as pearlitic, baintic and martensitic transformations of eutectoid steel. What is non-equilibrium cooling? So far we have seen phase diagrams in which only equilibrium cooling happens. That is, cooling happens at a very slow pace, like heating a sample in a furnace and allowing it to cool within the furnace. Furnace cooling is an example for equilibrium cooling. And all phase diagrams that we have seen so far are pertaining to equilibrium cooling. Equilibrium cooling is very slow furnace cooling, as I told. But in industrial process, the cooling rates are usually much more faster. And hence, new phases may be developed other than those we saw in the phase diagrams. So, it is necessary to analyze the temperature and time dependence or rate of cooling of the transformation. This is where the TTT diagram becomes essential. At rapid cooling rates, a time temperature transformation diagram should be used to understand the new phases that are developed other than those seen in a typical equilibrium phase diagram. The TTT diagram depicts transformation as a function of both temperature as well as time. Let us analyze the heat treatment of eutectoid steel. You know that eutectoid steel is 0.8 weight % carbon steel, and we have seen that the eutectoid reaction in a eutectoid phase diagram gives rise to pearlite. Pearlite is a lamellar structure of alternate plates of alpha ferrite and cementite. And you must also note the stark difference between the compositions of eutectoid steel and the products. The composition of eutectoid steel is 0.8 weight % carbon, while that of alpha ferrite is 0.2 weight % carbon and cementite is 6.67 weight % carbon. During the eutectoid reaction, there is diffusion of carbon atoms which gives rise to such stark difference in the composition. In the eutectoid reaction, we assume equilibrium cooling. What if the rate of cooling is different? Let us see the heat treatment processes that are possible. For that, we have to plot a temperature versus time curve. And our reference line will be the austenizing temperature, that is 725 degrees centigrade, above which the eutectoid steel remains in the austenite phase. This 725 degrees Celsius is known as the A1 line, that is the lower temperature transformation line for all forms of steel, hypoeutectoid, hypereutectoid and eutectoid steel. As far as eutectoid steel is concerned, this is the eutectoid line. The 725 degrees centigrade mark is the eutectoid line or the A1 line. These are the different heat treatment processes that are possible for a eutectoid steel. If the rate of cooling is very slow, then the process is known as annealing. If it is much faster than annealing, then the process is called normalizing. If it is cooled below the austenizing temperature and then held at a particular temperature for some time and then cooled back, then it is called austempering. If it is rapidly cooled to very low temperature, then the process is called quenching. And heating back after quench or heating after quenching is called tempering. Let us look into these processes and the microstructures that arise because of these various heat treatment processes in detail. Let us start with annealing. Annealing is very slow cooling or furnace cooling, that is heating the sample in a furnace and allowing it to cool at a very slow rate. So slow cooling is annealing, and because of the slow cooling, what happens is a coarse pearlite is formed. A coarse pearlite is alternate layers of alpha ferrite and cementite with relatively large thickness. Normalizing is faster cooling, that is heating a sample in a furnace and then cooling it in the air. Compared to annealing, the rate of cooling is quick. This results in fine pearlite. Fine pearlite has alternate plates of alpha ferrite and cementite which are relatively thin compared to coarse pearlite. So in case of annealing, the microconstituent is coarse pearlite, whereas in case of normalizing, the microconstituent is fine pearlite. Austempering is interrupted quenching. The microstructure developed is bainite. Bainite is very fine and elongated particles of cementite on alpha ferrite matrix as shown in the figure. The next heat treatment process is tempering. Tempering is heating after quench. Quenching is very rapid cooling, that is cooling quickly to lower temperatures. So after quenching, if the sample is again heated, then the process is known as tempering, and the resultant microconstituent is called tempered martensite, which is very small cementite needle-like particles on an alpha ferrite matrix as shown. Quenching is rapid cooling or very quick cooling. For example, heating a sample in a furnace and then quenching it in a water bath. So this results in a microstructure called martensite, which is a metastable state where needle-shaped grains are formed. So to summarize the heat treatment processes, we have this table. Annealing, a slow cooling or furnace cooling, and it results in coarse pearlite. Normalizing is fast cooling or air cooling, and it results in fine pearlite. Austempering is interrupted cooling, and it results in bainite. Tempering is heating after quenching, and the microconstituent is tempered martensite. Quenching is very fast cooling or water cooling, and the microstructure is martensite. These are the 5 different heat treatment processes that can be carried out in a eutectoid steel to attain various microstructures. Let us look into the growth and nucleation kinetics and the overall transformation. With a rate of undercooling, growth occurs at a much higher, growth maximum occurs at a much higher temperature. U is the growth rate. You can see that the maximum occurs at a much higher temperature than compared to the maximum of the nucleation curve. I is the nucleation rate. Nucleation is more when the temperatures are much lower compared to growth. And dx by dt is the overall transformation rate. That is the fraction of, x is actually the fraction of the component that has transformed. Okay. So these three curves are the basis of the construction of the TTT diagram. Here the rate of overall transformation rate, it is inversely related to the TTT diagram. So growth rate increases with increase in undercooling. Nucleation rate is maximum at a lower temperature compared to the growth rate maximum. The temperature of the maximum transformation rate lies between both the nucleation rate maximum as well as the growth rate maximum. Now let us construct the TTT diagram. So a TTT diagram is a visual map of the constituents formed as a function of temperature and time. Perlite forms at all temperatures along the start of transformation curve from the A1 line to the nose temperature. So A1 line is the eutectoid temperature line, that is 725 degrees centigrade. The nose temperature for eutectoid steel is at 540 degrees centigrade, which is evident from this diagram. So the A1 line is the eutectoid line. So from this temperature up to the nose, whatever be the rate of cooling, perlite is formed. This is the perlite start curve and this is perlite finish curve. Okay. So as we have seen from the heat treatment processes, annealing is very slow cooling, starting from say temperatures above the eutectoid line or the A1 line. If we cool the sample at a very slow rate, then annealing is said to happen, that is furnace cooling, and the resultant microstructure is coarse perlite. Normalizing is quicker cooling. So you are cooling at a much rapid rate than annealing. So you can see that perlitic transformation starts here and perlitic transformation ends here. And normalizing results in formation of fine perlite. Austempering is interrupted cooling, that is you quench the sample below the nose temperature, that is 540 degrees Celsius to say about 390 degrees Celsius, and then hold it at that temperature for sufficiently long time. So below the nose temperature, the microstructure formed will be bainite. So below the nose temperature, the C curve is called bainitic start curve and bainitic finish curve. So up to the nose temperature, it is perlitic start curve and perlitic finish curve, whereas below the nose temperature, it is bainitic start curve and bainitic finish curve. So austempering, which is interrupted cooling, results in formation of bainite. Let us look into perlitic transformation, especially formation of coarse perlite due to annealing. So as we have seen, a slow cooling rate from the eutectoid temperature yields coarse pearlite. This is also evident from the fact that the growth rate is more for smaller undercooling. So the effective transformation temperature is below A1 where the growth rate is rapid, and hence it is more compared to the nucleation rate, and hence coarse pearlite is formed. Whereas in case of normalizing, which is faster cooling, more number of nucleation is formed because the effective transformation temperature is lowered, and hence it yields fine pearlite. Coarse pearlite is alternating layers of alpha ferrite and cementite which are thick. Fine pearlite is alternating layers of alpha ferrite and cementite that are relatively thin, like this. Let us now move on to the baintic transformation. The transformation of austenite into pearlite is suppressed when the sample is cooled past the nose temperature. On holding it isothermally below the nose temperature, bainite is formed. Bainite can have different morphology depending on the temperature at which it is held. If it is at a higher temperature, then it is called upper bainite, and if it is at a lower temperature, then it is called lower bainite. As you can see, the morphology of bainite may differ depending on the temperature at which it is held. Austempering, that is interrupted quenching, is what results in formation of bainite. Let us analyze the difference between carbon steel and alloy steels. The pearlitic and baintic curves overlap in case of carbon steels. Alloy steels contain other substitutional alloying elements in addition to the interstitial carbon atom. Hence, the pearlitic transformation and the baintic transformation are represented by separate C curves in alloys. Coming back to the eutectoid steels, let us look into what is martensitic transformation. It results due to quenching. Quenching is very rapid cooling, and it results in a microstructure called martensite. If the eutectoid steel is quenched, martensite, which is a metastable phase, is formed. You must note that from this, if the eutectoid steel is quenched, then a metastable phase called martensite is formed. Note that there is no start curve or finish curve. There is only a martensite start temperature and there is a martensite finish temperature. So, on quenching, the martensitic transformation occurs. There are no start of transformation or finish of transformation curves. Instead, there is a martensite start and martensite finish temperature. At faster cooling rates, formation of alpha ferrite is suppressed. Formation of martensite is enhanced due to shear displacement of iron atoms into an interstitial supersaturated solution of iron and carbon. So you must understand that there is no diffusion. Instead, there is a shear force that changes the crystal structure from FCC austenite to a body-centered tetragonal martensite. So the martensite, being body-centered tetragonal, is less densely packed than the austenite. The microstructure martensite has needle-shaped grains as shown. It is very hard and brittle because of the rapid cooling. Some of the highlights of martensitic transformation are as shown. The reaction is a diffusionless phase transformation. That is, there is no change in the composition of carbon. Carbon content is still 0.8 weight% as in austenite. There is a coordinated crystal lattice structural change due to the shear forces. The reaction is athermal, that is, no thermal activation energy is required in case of martensitic transformation. There are certain crystallographic relationship between the martensite and the parent phase. Martensite is very hard and brittle, and hence tempering of martensite is required to make it ductile. But tempering will also decrease its strength and hardness. So tempering is a process in which the martensite is heated to a temperature below the eutectoid temperature and held at that temperature for varying amounts of time. On tempering, the martensite transforms from the body-centered tetragonal structure to a mixture of alpha ferrite and cementite precipitates or carbide precipitates. The microstructure is called tempered martensite and it has needle-shaped cementite embedded on alpha ferrite matrix as shown. If different morphologies of tempered martensite will form depending on the heat treatment process. It depends on how long we hold it and to what temperature we heat it. If the tempering is not chosen properly, then spheroidization can occur where the Fe3C, that is cementite, coalesce to form spheroid particles. Tempering martensite can cause the carbide to coarsen, increasing the average size and thereby decreasing the carbide population. The dislocation interactions with the carbides is reduced significantly because of the decreased population, and hence the work hardenability of tempered martensite is reduced. So a quick checklist of whatever we have seen in this lecture. We have seen the difference between equilibrium and non-equilibrium processes, heat treatment of eutectoid steels, which are classified as annealing, normalizing, austempering, tempering and quenching, necessity and application of the TTT, time temperature transformation diagram of eutectoid steel, time temperature transformation diagram of alloy steel, the various transformations and microstructures that arise in case of eutectoid steels. One of the oft repeated questions that have appeared in the university exam question paper is: explain in detail the different transformation, pearlitic, benthic and martensitic of eutectoid steel with a suitable TTT diagram. So, this is the rubric or the blueprint based on which this question will be evaluated. For drawing and explaining the TTT diagram of eutectoid steel in detail with a neat sketch, you may be awarded 4 marks. Explaining the pearlitic transformation, that is annealing and normalizing with the formation of coarse pearlite and fine pearlite respectively with neat diagrams and illustrations in the TTT diagram, will fetch you another 4 marks. The Baintic transformation, that is ostempering, cooling past the nose of the C curve in the TTT diagram of eutectoid steel and holding it isothermally for sufficiently long time, will result in formation of bainite. So, the Baintic transformation should be explained in a clear way with neat illustration. Martensitic transformation occurs during quenching and it has few characteristics which distinguish it from the other forms of transformation. So you must mention all those points that have been discussed in the lecture. This will fetch you another 4 marks. So a clear and neat presentation of all these points will fetch you the full 16 mark. You can write an assignment based on this rubric on the given question. Wish you all the best for your examination. Thank you.